Okay, so hello and welcome to yet another Gaming Masters video. As promised in my last video, I was going to give a rundown of the top 10 games released in 2015. There are going to be a few honourable mentions at the end of it, so let's get started. These are in no particular order, but these are games I personally have really enjoyed this year and think that you guys should try out if you haven't already got them. I'm going to give some basic information of what platforms they are, what the games are about, and what might be coming up, or some key points to do with the game. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the list. They're in no specific order, but they're all really good games. So first up, I'm going to mention a platformer which was extremely emotional for a lot of gamers that was out in March of last year, so March 2015, on PC, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. This game was very emotional from the start, and it was called Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, this game was fairly hyped up. It was a platformer, had a new style, really had quite a big storyline, which evolved over the hours of gameplay that you would actually put into it. And you don't really have many platformers available on next-gen consoles that look so beautiful and have such a good musical score as Ori and the Blind Forest has. Now, there is going to be a definitive edition available later on this year, so 2016, which will bring in extra content and some more stuff. I believe that's available for PC and Xbox One. I'm not sure about Xbox 360, and I don't think it's coming to PlayStation. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's going to be out later on this year, and it will be really good fun. I think it's beginning of this year for the definitive edition, but the original version is already out. It's a platformer, PC, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. I believe it's digital only, released in March of 2015, and it's got a really emotional story throughout the whole game, and there is a high chance that you'll cry. Next up is a zombie open world game released by Techland, which were the original developers of the Dead Island franchise. Now, this game, Dying Light, which is open world, parkour based, PC, PS4 and Xbox One, which was released almost a year ago in January 2015. Now, they're still supporting the game. They've got a huge DLC out next month, so February 2016, which is going to be bigger than the size of the original map, gives a graphical upgrade, more story content, huge patch for fixes that might be needed for the base game, and it's going to be really good fun. Included in the season pass content, or you can get a whole bundle with everything that you need in the game, including the season pass and the DLC at once, and that's out in February, middle of February kind of time. So do stick around for that. I suggest you get that because it's going to be cheaper than getting the season pass and the base game separately. But I played through it really quickly. It's got loads of content, really good fun. I finished it in about a week, and the storyline's awesome. I can't wait for a second game. I highly suspect that there will be a second Dying Light game coming at some point. Next game that I'm going to mention didn't have a particularly good launch on PC in June 2015. However, it's an open world game. Everybody loves the Batman franchise. It's the last installment in the Batman Arkham franchise. It is suspected they might change that, bearing in mind it's done fairly well on the consoles and it's a really good franchise. However, it's an open world game, Batman Arkham Knight, on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. PC version didn't do too well. It was removed from the stores for sale because it did so badly, and it wasn't properly fixed, even playable on the cards it was given away for free with, until November when it was released in the June, and even in November it wasn't really that playable. So I wouldn't get it for PC, but it was amazing. I finished it, really good content, loads of side missions that you can try out, looks beautiful, and that was out in June of last year. Now, next game is another first-person shooter. This is game number 4 in my list. It was an Xbox One exclusive, as you would expect from this franchise, out in October 2015. I've been beta testing this for quite a while. I can't give my feedback about the beta, however, it was really stable. You can see it go from strength to strength. Halo 5 Guardians isn't available on PC or any other platform, but it's really had quite a strong campaign. It's had strong sales, it's boosted Xbox One, and has done really well. Multiplayer modes, they've been really innovative with the modes that they've made available at Warzone and Arena. You've got some really cool stuff in there. You get to play as Agent Locke and Master Chief as well, which is nice. You have 2 different approaches to the storyline, which is a really nice feature. However, it's not going to be on PC, and they've denied that it's going to be ported over to PC. However, next game, which is going to be out in 2016, so this year, around about October, November time, Halo Wars 2 will be on PC, so it'd be nice to see another entry to the Halo franchise on PC too. Now, number 5, this game didn't do as well as it could have, because of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain being released around about the same time. However, Mad Max, an open-world action-adventure game made by Avalanche Studios in September 2015, has a very interesting combat and mechanics scheme, and it's got an ever so slight tie-in with the latest film that was released in the same year. PC, PS4, Xbox One users can experience this game. Obviously, it's got vehicle mechanics and melee combat, etc. You capture areas by raising hot air balloons. It's a desert, loads of vehicles, upgrades, quite a bit of customization. Could have had a bit more, but it's got enough customization to keep you going, and there won't be any DLC as far as I'm aware post-launch. So all the content's in there. I think they're going to release a few patches, etc. I don't think there's going to be any other content released after launch. However, it's been really good fun. I haven't finished it just yet, as there are a few tricky moments in it, and you really need to get the right perks to be able to get far enough. Then you go into a mission, and you may struggle in places. However, I really enjoyed going around the open world desert in my vehicle, which I customized, and you've got loads of cool stuff, foraging around for scrap, etc. And it's a beautiful game, it really is. Now, next game in my list is another current Xbox exclusive. It's been quite a while since we've had a major entry into this franchise, and this is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Xbox 360 and Xbox One users had this available in November of 2015. However, PC users can get it at the end of this month, so January 2016, and PS4 users can get it late 2016. It's a beautiful game, there's a really good gameplay, and they've done a really nice job of bringing this franchise back from the dead as such. The 2012 reboot did really well, but they left some bits out which a lot of the die-hard fans were looking for example optional tombs, etc. They've brought that back. They've made a beautiful engine for the game, and it's just really good fun. So I suggest you check it out. It will be back on other platforms, as I mentioned later on this year, So if you don't have access to an Xbox One, I suggest you get it on next gen. Xbox 360's port was fairly good, apparently. However, you really want to maximize the beauty of this game by getting it on a next gen system or PC. So I wait out for it to be released on your respective platforms, but it's really good fun, beautiful game, and it's nice to have Lara going back to her roots for a bit. Now, the next game, 7th game in this list, out of 10, is Rainbow Six Siege. I was very worried about this game when the alphas and the betas were released and there were a few delays, etc. I think it was delayed for about 2-3 months or so, and you just think, oh, I'm not sure how well this game's going to launch. However, I got it for free on PC, and I got it on Xbox One as well a few months, about a month after launch, so I got it earlier on this month. And yeah, I'm fairly impressed with it. It's competitive, it's fun with friends, and it's got loads of free content coming after launch. So all the maps and operators are going to be for free after launch. You can get XP bonuses with micro DLC, which I suppose is their way of getting in a bit of money into the game. And then there is a season pass as well, which basically means you get the 8 free operators which they're bringing into the game early. You also get a few cosmetic items, that you don't have to buy these 8 operators. However, the players which don't have a season pass will have to buy the operators with their in-game currency. You don't buy the in-game currency. I think there might be an option to do it. However, you don't have to buy the in-game currency. You earn it by completing matches, which is perfectly fine in my opinion. They said that to earn enough XP to get the operators, it takes about 2 months to earn enough to buy all the operators at once that are released, and they're gonna space the DLCs out by about 2 months. So you should have plenty of time if you play 8 to 10 hours per week, which is what most people play on their FPS titles apparently each week, sorry. So you should be perfectly fine. Loads of free content, customization, etc. And I think it's going to do really well. It's nice to have a new entry into the competitive market for first-person shooters other than Counter-Strike, which is really good, and it looks fairly good for a competitive game, and I've really enjoyed it as well. So definitely check out Rainbow Six Siege. Now, next game, Avalanche Studios have done really well this year. Just Cause 3 is my next game out on the same day as Rainbow Six Siege, which was the 1st of December. Xbox One, PC, and PS4 is beautiful. It really is beautiful. We've not had a Just Cause game for many years, and they've really optimized next-gen platforms. Loads of content, side missions, etc. Storylines about 30 missions long, which is nice. There's 3 acts and about 9 missions each. So yeah, it is really good fun. Loads of open world content. They've followed what the modders did in the Just Cause 2 game and put that into the Just Cause 3 game, which is really cool. Not many developers do actually do that, and it's nice to see that they do actually listen to the community. Now, there isn't a multiplayer mode available, however they do have multiplayer leaderboards as such that is going to be, well, that is integrated, and they might be working on multiplayer behind the scenes. They've teased it ever so slightly, however they're working on stuff and they can't confirm or deny it. They're just working out how it will work. Obviously, Just Cause 2 mod was so successful that they now bundle it with the game on PC, and they've got official support for it, etc. Now, next up, the Just Cause 3 game is actually the largest open world game of 2015. Approximately 400 square miles according to GameRanks' YouTube video. Now, it's huge. It's the biggest game of 2015 according to this video, and they compared loads of games like Witcher 3, Fallout, etc. and they've done really well with comparing it, and it's a huge, beautiful game. Highly recommend you get it. 400 square miles of open world, explosive goodness. Next up, not many people would have heard of this game. It's a first-person puzzle game, which was released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC in February of 2015, and it's called Pneuma Breath of Life. Now, I've 1K'd this game on Xbox One, and it really does get the brain cells working and such. loads of different problems, different approaches, but they've done really well. It's an indie studio. They've done extremely well for... I'm not sure if it's their first game, however, they've done really well. I enjoyed it. And you can complete it in about 4 hours, and it's like 100 gamer score achievements for each level that you've completed, so it's nice to build up the gamer score, I suppose. Now, the next and final game of this list, as I mentioned at the top of this video, it's not in any specific order, but Ark Survival Evolved entered early access in July of 2015 for PC, and was in early access for Xbox One in December of 2015. It's done really well, awesome content. I think that they've put way too much content into the game now, because getting started is really hard, and there are too many enemies that you, well, not enemies etc. as such, but there are a lot of other animals which they have added into the game, which I have found quite a big problem, because you have servers with over 70 players on them, and then you have hundreds of different animals on there as well. They're all their own levels, etc., and it can get very, very tedious, dying, having to find your base, etc. Starting up in August was perfectly fine. However, since August, when a lot of content has been added since then, it is getting a bit too much. But they have supported the game very well, and they've listened to the community, and it's out full release on PS4, Xbox One, and PC in July of this year, with the early access title being cheaper than the full release, and you get the full release for free. Loads of cool content, and I recommend you check out Dinosaur Survival in a game where you can tame animals, make bases, have tribes, etc. So it's really good fun. Now, I do have a few honourable mentions. I'm not going to go into much detail about these. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Xbox One, PS4, PC, very good game based in Victorian London. Latest franchise installment of Assassin's Creed. Fallout 4 was highly anticipated Xbox One, PS4 and PC game, and like most of the titles last year, it was mainly PC, Xbox One, PS4. I think we've said goodbye to Xbox 360 and PS3 now. However, Fallout 4 has done very well, most anticipated game of 2015, once it was announced by Bethesda during the E3 period last year, and I recommend you do get it if you like RPGs. I'm not a huge fan of RPGs, which is why it's not in my top 10. However, do go and check it out. It was a fairly good game. The same for Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which was released early end of last year. I believe it was around about May of last year. More DLC is out this year, 2016, and it's going to be good fun, I think. Yes, again, it's another mythical open world RPG style kind of game. It's not really my kind of thing. However, the sword, combat, etc., a lot of people have praised, and loads of creatures, hundreds of hours of content in both of those games, so I recommend you check that out. Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, I'm just giving this a shout out because the problems that Hideo Kojima has now had is probably the last entry into the franchise due to all of this problem with studios, but that's for another video. He's had to go off and make his own studio, the main creator behind this. Therefore, I doubt there will be another entrance into this franchise. However, it was a really good game released in September alongside with Mad Max. I think it's like the 1st of September or something like that this game was released. And yeah, a lot of people enjoyed it. Not many people are playing it at the moment, but it tended to be like most players started off on Witcher 3, then they moved to Metal Gear Solid, then they moved to Fallout 4, and yeah, it's been a very good game yet again. It's not really my style of game, but it's the first open world Metal Gear Solid game, which they've done very well with, and it's a shame that there's been all of these problems behind the scenes with the development studio. Anyway, thank you for watching this almost 20-minute long video. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe. Very much appreciated. And I shall see you in the next video, which will be my most anticipated games of 2016. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe. See you soon.